Hello everyone and welcome back. So in today's video what we're going to do is just have a look over how 2022 went, things that went right, things that went wrong, things I need to improve on, things that I've learned, and as well as that then we're going to have a look at what I'm going to do in 2023, hopefully some farm developments and things like that. But first I'm just going to throw in a few bales and throw the cattle a bit of meal.
Chattanooga boy had a dollar and a dime, headed out from Nashville on the Hard Rock Line. I'm working on that old steamboat and learned to ride the steam. When my feet had touched dry land, how happy I did feel. Been saving every penny for to make up through the fall, working for that dollar, but it never adds up at all. Coming around the riverbank, heard the old train whistle sing. The very next thing you hear from me, I've been tied to a ball and chain. Well, come this time tomorrow, reckon I don't know where I'll be. But if it wasn't for that old sheriff, I'd be back in Tennessee, playing cards and crap games, not looking for the score. And if I ever get back home again, I'll never own no more.
So the type of farming I do is called contract rearing. So basically what that means is that dairymen send their young stock to me to be reared. So I take them in just when they're off milk and they stay with me then the whole way through to being back just before the calf. So they're put on calf on the farm here, so they're eyed on the farm. I get paid a daily rate then to look after them. I supply the silage and my own time and labour and things like that. Anything to do with the animal then in our agreement is the owner does, so anything to do with the vets or any doses or things like that, the owner looks after. So I have two men's cattle on the farm here this year. I have 20 from one man and I have 70 from another man. Next year then I'll have this 70, this batch here. So these are the ones that came in as calves. So there's 43 here in this shed and there's another 20 down below in the other shed. What I'll do is I'll keep them now. They'll be bulled during the summer and sent back then next January. Another batch then of between 60 and 70 come in June, and then the other man hopefully will send another 10 to replace the 10 that are taken away. So the heifers here in this pen have done 0.8, so these are above target. So what these are on 70% silage, and they're getting 1 kilo of meal a day because they're above target. They don't need that much, so just enough to keep them going. These smaller heifers here, they're well below target. So basically what they're on is they're on 76% silage, DMD silage, and they're getting around 2 kilos, but they're being built up to around 3 because these are well below target, and to try and even get a hope of them to get to the bull this year, they're going to have to be pushed on. So they're going to have to do 1 kilo a day from now until they get bulled to make sure they hit their weight. This third batch here again are on 76% DMD silage and they're getting 2 kilos a day. They're kind of in between the two groups, so they'll have a chance of getting to the bull, but they still need a bit of TLC to get them there. And then this is what they grow into. So these are the bigger heifers, so these are leaving this week now. There's 10 here, so 8 are definitely in calf. One has to be scanned today again. But basically they're all going back to the owners now in calf, and I suppose they'll be around 500, 550 kilos, so they've done very well. So as regards losses and health, I did lose one this year. I lost a calf to pneumonia. It was a small calf that came in and got pneumonia. We treated it. Vet was out getting intravenous drugs and that, but it perked up for about 2 days, but unfortunately had to be put down. Then about 2 days later it just lied down and wouldn't get up. So they're the things you have to look out for them. As regards the silage, this is the best silage now we've made this year. So like I said, this is the 76% DMD silage. So that would have been done in the video I done about making the silage. So I'll just put a link to that up above in the corner there. And then this stuff here is probably the worst silage that we have. So this is 63 or 64%. So as you can see, like, it's all stem, all headed out, and it's bad silage, but it's okay for maintaining. So these older stock, what they're getting is this 6%, and plus they're getting a kilo of meal on that. That's just to maintain them. They'll do them lovely and do them right and fill them up. So the main thing I've learned about the silage this year is that I'm going to try and make 70+% silage at all times. I'd rather make less bales and have really good stuff, because that means that you're cutting down on the amount of meal that's being fed, so therefore it's cheaper on the owner. And then, like, look, you can go back then and you can kind of use that as a bargaining chip if you want or whatever, but like for them, for performance wise as well, and for myself as well, like, there's way less waste in the 70% DMD silage. As you can see there, like, there's absolutely no rot. The cattle eat every bit of it, whereas if you compare it to that 6% or 63% stuff there, they're kicking it away and don't want to eat it, and then there's mold in it and things you have to take away, and just, you're better off just trying to get it as close as you can. So I'm just going to try and cut as much as I can in May, have it all done, and then clean up paddocks after that. But like I said, try and get the best quality silage that I possibly can. So the heifers overall, from when they came in June until now, I weighed them there just the week before Christmas, they've averaged 0.72 kg a day, which is decent considering that there is a lot of, like, that's the collective number now, and like, to consider that there is a lot of Jersey crosses in that, I was happy enough with that. That's kind of where they need to be. So as regards going forward for 2023, one of the big jobs that I'm going to do here on the farm is these buildings along here, they're starting to fall down and they're very dangerous. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to take them down. I have to put up another slatted shed for the numbers that are coming in. So what I'm hopefully going to build here is a 5-bay slatted shed with 20-foot wide bays rather than 15 foot, so I can fit more stock in them, and then have maybe a 5 or 6 meter creep at the back, not for calves or anything, but just that if you want to sort out an animal that's sick or anything like that, that you can do it by yourself. As you can see here, like, none of them, you can't get in with tractors, you can't store anything in them. All there are is full of rats and full of, if you have stuff like this, all it does is collect rubbish. That's all it is. It's just a place where people dump stuff and bring stuff over, it doesn't fit in the house, and it's put in here. So I just want to get rid of all that and put up a shed that's of use. At the end here, what I'm going to do where this building is here is I'm going to put up hopefully a small roof dung heap, just to make use of any family manure that there actually is coming off the farm. So this building here, I'm hoping that I'll do it up and maybe have like a small little office in it. This used to be, and there used to be farm workers on the farm. It used to be a house. So if we go in here, so you can see in there it has like an old fireplace and things like that. But again, it's just filled with rubbish. So I'm going to try and take this all out, put plugs and electricity in it, and put up some see-through galvanising the roof, non-drip stuff, and have this sort of as a place where I can leave my wellies and things like that, and at least have one original building from the old yard left in the yard, and it'd be nice when it's done up and painted and windows and doors put into it. So we're just up here in the forest, and it's just above the yard, so as you can see, the yard is down there. So basically up here, what the problem is that all the ash is dying because of ash dieback. So I basically have a walkway that goes from the top side of the shed, it walks up here, goes through the forest, along that hedge up there, and pops out into my grazing ground over there. And what I want to do here is, this flat bit up here is very dry, so because we have to cut down the trees, what I'm going to do is, what I want to do is just clear it all back and put it back into a paddock. It won't be a very productive paddock, but just somewhere close to the yard where you can put an animal if it's sick, or if it comes in new or something like that, that you have an area just to put it in by itself, or if the calves arrived at the first batch, that I can put them in here, give them meal, get them used to me, and that I can run them into the shed if I wanted to weigh them and things like that. I have one small paddock the other side of the yard there. It's only half an acre, but like that, there's always an animal in it. You'll always find that the one closest to the yard always has something in it, and I don't have enough of them, even though the land is very close and everything. A small paddock is very handy to have. It's very sheltered here. It has the big trees here. I'll just put a fence along there because there's a bit of a drop off into the bottom of the forest, and all this here is about half an acre. I'm hoping that I can cut all this down and put it back in, and there's a steep bit in the grazing ground that I'm going to plant to make up for that, because you have to have the same area planted. Now this is kind of a project if funds allow. This is probably one that I probably won't get done in 2023, but what I'd like to do here is off the edge of the machinery shed where you see me doing the work on the trailers and tractors, what I'd like to do is A-frame another shed down here and be able to store the timber that is cut in there. For us or for sale, that at least that next year in the back end we have an option. But like that, all it will be is it won't be galvanized or anything. It'll just be painted steel, and it'll probably just be sheeted down to the ground, or maybe with a 4-foot shuttered wall or something like that. But like I said, that probably won't happen this year. It'll probably be something down the line, but it's something that I hope to do. So we're just in the top shed here. So the bottom shed there, then there's a pit, and then this is what I call the top shed. So this was built in the 90s. But basically what I want to do here is, all this is a mess, this bank here, and it's very tight. Like you can see here, like when you put the bales in with the tractor, you're very, you don't have a lot of room to push in the bales. This is just a total mess. So what I want to do is, when I'm reseeding that and cut them, that's up there where that paddock is I was talking about up there. So basically what I want to do then is to dig all this back, maybe about 3 or 4 foot, bring it back, and then shutter maybe a 6-foot wall, and give myself maybe to where the bank is there, maybe an extra 2 foot, and that'll make a world of difference, and it'll keep this tidy and concrete it, have a nice fall into that drain down there. And so I put this walkway this year in between the 2 sheds that I can bring them down and run them into the crush down in the bottom shed where the squeeze crush is. So basically here, this is this walkway I was on about that goes along the side of that paddock. So I'm going to put a gate in here, where this gate is here. That's that bank that I want to pull back, and that I can just run the cattle straight down here, down in there, or I can run them up or sort them out here. So that's the back of the paddock. So now we're out here in the grazing ground out here now. So this goes on about 20 acres here, split into 5 or 6 paddocks. But this is the steep bit here. Now I can't even get it on camera, but that bit there, from there over, is just basically a sheer drop, and I only have a 2-wheel drive tractor. And I'll tell you one thing, you need new underwear going down there after going down there in the 2-wheel drive tractor, so that has to be planted. So basically it's of no use really. So from there over, I'm going to plant to make up for what I'm taking out of over there. So another thing that I'm going to do here is, there's only 1 or 2 drinkers in every paddock. So the paddock split up into 5 acres roughly. But the problem with that is that, say if you want to get these heifers to graze out the ground properly, is that you have to split it with wire, but it's leaving it very awkward with 1 or 2. It's too much grass basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 3 drinkers in every paddock. So one at the top, middle and bottom obviously, so that it gives me more options there to split the paddock with wire, and it's easier done. Once these heifers get into a routine of being moved, they'll know when to be moved. They'll follow you. These dairy heifers are awful easily moved, awful easy handled and everything. So basically for the likes of this, even here, this paddock, that I'd have 1 at the top there, 1 in the middle and 1 down the bottom, so that I can just split into 3. Because at the minute, like say we split this paddock here, which is one of the smaller paddocks, you're going across to the middle down to about there, but that's a lot of grass up here that, you know, especially younger stock, they won't get through that. The older stock would in about 2 or 3 days, but younger stock, it could be a week or 2 in there, and they're not cleaning it out properly. And then the final thing that we're going to do in 2023 is obviously the maintenance around the farm. So the likes of these wooden stakes now are absolutely, nowadays they're absolutely cooked, they're brutal. You'd be lucky if you get 3 or 4 years out of them. So what we started using here was last year over there. That's my silage ground over there, going back towards my house, and what we used over there was this Clip-X posts, and I have to say they're absolutely unbelievable. Drive easy, easy to put up, no hassle at all. You can take them down if you rent a ground or bring them with you, and they don't move. So this is them here, so they're absolutely unbelievable. So what I'm going to be doing is getting another maybe 100, 150 of them, and any of them wooden ones that go over the year, they'll all be going towards metal posts. All the straining posts, then any that break, I'll be putting in concrete ones, so that'll be more secure. Apart from that, in 2023, I'm just hoping that I can expand the farm. I've given up the job, so I'm full-time at the farm now, so kind of have to make it work. So one of the reasons why I do these videos is because, one, it's a hobby, and two, I'm just sick to death of everyone being so negative around farming. Everything is just, you read a newspaper or you watch the news and everything is negative, negative, negative. Don't eat this, don't eat that, you're using too much of this. At the end of the day, there's more scientific research gone into what a cow eats than what you eat. And as well as that, people are on about antibiotics and things like that. Farmers only give antibiotics to cattle that are really, really sick, that really need them in Ireland. Abroad, can't speak of that. Over here in Ireland, everything is grass fed, the majority of it, 99%. As well as that, then no steroids, no growth improvers, nothing like that's allowed to be used over here. So anything that is here is living like that. They have a shine, they're naturally happy. I try my best to look after the cattle here. Even though I don't own the cattle that come onto my farm, I try and treat them as best I can and try and treat them like they're my own cattle, or even better. And it's just to kind of show younger people that, like, if you want to have a go at it, there is ways of doing it. Like, yeah, you might have to wait. Like, I'm 32 now, like I had to wait until now before I could get full-time at it. And yes, I am in a lucky position in that Mum and Dad live in Cavan, I'm here in Mayo on the farm, on the home farm, and you know, I got the opportunity to take it over, like, but like, it took a lot of development and a lot of money spent on it to get it to where it is today, and it's going to take a lot more. So before kids come along and things like that, I wanted to really have a go at it, and I just wanted to I don't know, show younger lads and lassies that, like, if you want to do it, just do it. There's plenty of opportunity out there like that. If I had my way and I won the lotto, I'd probably have huge big Belgian blue cattle with limousine cross calves and everything, try and breed those showy cattle, but that doesn't make money. What makes money is raising these cattle, and that's something that... So look, that's all the stuff that happened in 2022. So some of the lessons that I've learned in 2022 is I have to make better silage, graze out the ground better. I have to get grazing out, clean it out better, better water infrastructure, maybe a few walkways, as well as dose and things like that. Health wise, I was lucky this year. That mightn't happen again next year, so we'll just keep on top of that. Detail in this game, this contract rearing, detail is key. That's one thing now that I have to sort of lock down. It's okay at the minute, but I want to bring it to the next level. Like, I want to be sort of one of the better ones doing this, like, you know. Going forward then for 2023, it's building the sheds, it's clearing off that paddock. Hopefully they're the two main things. Then more like that, hopefully then, if an opportunity arises to expand the farm, maybe rent a bit of ground or lease a bit of ground, something like that, and try and expand, maybe have some dry stock on an out farm or something like that, try and bring in some extra bit of money. But that's really the plans for 2023. So 22 went okay. If I was giving myself a grade, I'd probably go a B, not an A, I'd probably go a B. There's lots of ways to improve. You always have to improve, and the minute you think that you have it tied down and you know what farming is, that's the minute that you're going to lose. That's the time that you're not going to make money, and it's going to change on you. Everything, the goalposts are always changing in farming. Down the line, like in Ireland here, and probably across Europe as well, there's new nitrates directives going in, so basically that stocking levels are going to have to come down. But I see that as an opportunity for the likes of me, who's contract rearing, that those dairy men out there, they need a place for their replacement stock to go. If they want to be milking the numbers they want to be milking, if they want to be milking 200 or 300 cattle on a block of land, they can't have their dairy heifers on any sort of land. And it's getting to the stage there now where a dairyman is paying maybe €400 for an acre of land a year at home. If you can see that business opportunity there and offer a solution, and offer a cheaper solution, but make as much money as you possibly can, then you know that dairyman's going to take that every day of the week, because they know that you're looking after their cattle. They know that they're going to get back their cattle in good condition, and hopefully in calf. Now, you have to have a good relationship with the two lads I work with, Chris and David. Now, have to say they're unbelievable. They're the best men I could have dealt with ever. They're so cool, so collected. They know what they want. There's no hassle with them. Money's always paid. Like, I have to say now, we have a good relationship. I'm able to ring them if something's wrong. I ring them straight away, tell them something's up. That's probably the key to it. The biggest key to this contract rearing is to be able to, that they can trust you and you can trust them. So apart from that, look, hopefully in 2023 I'll be able to bring you some good content, show the positive side of farming as well as the downside. Like, it's not all fucking rosy, like, you know, like cattle do die, cattle do get sick, stuff do break out, things go wrong, I go mad. That's just life, like, that's just farming. But hopefully I can show you that there is another way of doing it, and it is a bit more positive than what's out there at the minute, like, you know, and hopefully show you the good things that are happening in it. So stay with me for 2023. If you want to see more, again, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really does help, and I'll see you in the next one.